Today is the disappearance day of Srinivasacharya. Okay. Today is the disappearance day of Srinivasacharya. So usually we sing this song. It's a song of separation from the great Vaishnavas who have departed. We will discuss something about Srinivasacharya because it is described that when we discuss about the glories of the acharyas, especially those on appearance and disappearance day, that increases our determination in devotional service. So we'll discuss something about him, and then we will also make some progress in our Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Nilo Remadhana Karuna Prachu Jaya Nilo Remadhana Karuna Prachu Ena Prabhu Kotha Gila Acharya Thakur Ena Prabhu Kotha Gila Acharya Thakur Kaha mora swarup rupa Kaha sanatan Kaha mora swarup rupa Kaha sanatan Hadasara Nata Patita Pava Kahadasara Nata Patita Pava Kaha mora bhata juga Kaha kavira Kaha mora bhata juga Kaha kavira Ekha kale kotha gela Gora natara Ekha kale kotha gela Gora natara Pasane kutibo matha Panale pasibo Pasane kutibo matha গুণেরা নিধি কথা গেলে পাবো গৌরাঙ্গা গুণেরা নিধি কথা গেলে পাবো সবা সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সে সবা সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সে সঙ্গা না পাইয়া কাঁদে নরোত্তমদাস সে সঙ্গা না পাইয়া কাঁদে নরোত্তমদাস যে আনিল প্রেমাধানা করুণা প্রচুর যে আনিল প্রেমাধানা করুণা প্রচুর হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর তাহা মোরা স্বরূপ রূপা তাহা সনাতন তাহা দাস রঘুনাথ পতিত পাবন তাহা মোরা ভট্ট যুগা তাহা কবিরা লেখা কালে কোথা গেলা গৌরনাটরা লেখা কালে কোথা গেলা গৌরনাটরা আসানে কুটিব মাথা আনালে ফসিব গৌরঙ্গা গুণেরা নিধি কথা গেলে পাবো সে সবা সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সে সঙ্গা না পাইয়া কাঁদে নরোত্তমদাস এ আনিল প্রেমাধানা করুণা প্রচুর হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद जी। Okay. Meaning of this song: Jayanilo Premadhana Karuna Prachu. He who brought the treasure of Premadhana, divine love, Karuna is mercy, who was filled with compassion and mercy. Where has such a personality as Advaitacharya gone? हेनो प्रभु कोथा गेला आचार्य ठाकुर. कोथा गेला in Hindi means कहाँ चले गए. Where has such a personality as Acharya Thakur, Advaita Acharya gone? कहाँ मोरा स्वरूप रूपा? Where has Swarup Damodar Goswami, the personal intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Where is Rupa Goswami? कहाँ Sanatana? Where is Sanatana Goswami? कहाँ Das Raghunath? Where is Raghunath Das Goswami? Who is Patita Pavan, fallen of all the deliverer of all the fallen souls? कहाँ मोरा Bhatta Juga? Where is the two Bhattas, the Gopala Bhatta Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami? Where have they gone? Kaha Kaviraj? Where is Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami? Eka Kale Kotha Gela Gaura Nataraj. And where is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who is Nataraj? Who is the best among us? Where is he? Kotha Gela. Where has he gone? Pashane Kutibo Matha Anale Pashibo. Pasane is stone. Kutibo Matha. I am crying and I am hitting my head against a stone. Anale Pashibo, Gauranga Gunera Nidhi, Kotha Gele Pabo. Where is such a like personality as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, divine qualities? Se Sava Sangira Sange Jekoilo Bilas, desiring all the association of Sava Sangira Sange, the association of all these Vaishnav saints. Se Sangana Paya Kande Narottama Das. And because I'm not able to get, this is a song sung by Narottam Das Thakur. Se Sanga na Paya Kande. Kande is crying. I'm crying because I'm not able to get the association of these Vaishnav saints. And that's why Narottam Das Thakur is crying in separation. Especially on the appearance and disappearance day of these great acharyas, by glorifying them and by hearing their glories, we please those Vaishnavas, and the mercy of these Vaishnavas is easily available. Srila Prabhupada explained that there is no difference between appearance and disappearance days. Yet at the same time, disappearance day is very glorious because on this particular day, they join Lord Shri Krishna in his supreme pastimes in Vrindavan Dham on this particular day. Something very quick, maybe 20-25 minutes about Srinivasacharya. Now, just imagine if somebody glorifies us, we become happy naturally. And that's why we please the Lord by glorifying Krishna. We please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Charitamrita, is to glorify the Lord. And when we glorify and when we take pleasure in glorifying the Lord, in glorifying Lord Krishna, in glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we please those personalities. We please Sri Krishna, we please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Likewise, when we glorify Mahajans, the saintly Vaishnavas, they are pleased and we attract their mercy. And especially on appearance and disappearance day of great Vaishnavas, they must be glorified. And it so happened that today is Srinivasacharya disappearance day, and we have a scheduled discussion. So I thought, let us know more about this divine personality. I request everyone, whenever you go to India, please visit Shri Dham Mayapur and Shri Vrindavan Dham. Then please visit the samadhis of these great Vaishnav saints. Um, um, then those samadhis will be imprinted in your mind. And then I know some devotees every day they visit those samadhis because samadhis are not different from the personalities. Um, um, uh, when Srila Prabhupada, when before he came to the West, he lived in Vrindavan for almost over 13 years. Among them, around 3.5 years, he lived at Vamshi Gopal Mandir at Keshi Ghat, and over 8-9 years he lived at Radha Damodar Mandir. In Radha Damodar Mandir, there is the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami, there is Samadhi of Jiva Goswami, and there is a Samadhi of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Three Samadhis are there. There are actually 100 Samadhis in Radha Damodar Mandir. But Srila Prabhupada would every day, he would circumambulate Radha Damodar Mandir, and he would every day pay obeisances to four Samadhis. One is, first there is a Pushpa Samadhi of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his divine spiritual master. And we know the concept of Pushpa Samadhi, the flowers that have touched the divine body of the personality at the time of departure. They are they represent the divine personality himself, and that samadhi is called Pushpa Samadhi. And there is a full body samadhi of Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami there. So he would first pay obeisances to the samadhi of Saraswati Thakur, and then to the samadhi of Jiva Goswami, and then to the um, samadhi of um, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and then to samadhi of Rupa Goswami. And every day, and Srila Prabhupada would every day sweep the samadhi area. And he said that I was empowered by Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Jiva Goswami. Um, and based on the instruction of my spiritual master, that I could um, um, spread and this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. When Srila Prabhupada would every day Prabhupada, from his window, where Prabhupada would cook, those who have been to Radha Damodar Mandir, Prabhupada would have two rooms and a kitchen there. And from where Prabhupada would cook, from his window, he will see the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami. And every day he would sweep the Samadhi area of Rupa Goswami. That time it was all like open. Now they have made an enclosure. It was all like in a forest kind of. Um, um, Now there is some construction, but during the time Rupa Goswami was there, it was just a land, and little far away Yamuna was flowing. That's all. It was an open area. Now there are many temples that have come that came in that area. So Prabhupada would sweep and Prabhupada would pray to Rupa Goswami, if you are truth, um, um, and if the holy name is truth, please reveal yourself to me. That time, Rupa Goswami came in a dream of Srila Prabhupada, and Rupa Goswami came out of Samadhi in a vision of Prabhupada, and then he told Prabhupada that everything is already arranged. Speak about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and speak about Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami said specifically these two books. He said, speak about Chaitanya Charitamrita and speak about Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and it will be good for everyone, because lot of Siddhanta of our core philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism principles are enunciated directly by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and further in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and further expanded by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, when we visit these samadhis, those impressions are inbuilt. For example, there are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and I'm sure all of you have the picture of 6 Goswamis. If not, please acquire one. They are worshipable. By their mercy, only we will be able to attain what we want to attain. Um, and we see from the example of Srila Prabhupada himself, he personally had a desire to stay with the Samadhi of Rupa and Jiva Goswami. And then when Prabhupada was living in Vamsi Gopal temple in Keshi Ghat, the Goswami, who was like the Acharya of Radha Mudar Mandir, he himself came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, I will give you a room, why don't you come and stay there? And then a lot of pastimes that happened. And in fact, after Srila Prabhupada came to America and he has many disciples, and then Prabhupada went to India because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a very advanced scriptures. We already discussed Nectar of Devotion, very advanced scripture. And not everyone will be able to understand. So Srila Prabhupada had that instruction from Rupa Goswami. So what Srila Prabhupada did is, even in the beginning days, Srila Prabhupada would read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, telling about Sanatana Goswami to the people who don't know anything. Prabhupada will speak about them because I saw my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, when he speak to the Americans who are very new, who don't know anything about Vaishnavism, he speak to them about the story of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Many times I'm surprised, how is Maharaj speaking this to those people who don't know anything? Because the mercy comes by hearing. The determination to devotional service increases by hearing about the glories of these acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada, when he came to America, then we know New York, San Francisco, and many places. He sent 6 disciples to London to start Krishna consciousness in England. Started first Rath Yatra in San Francisco, and then after spreading Krishna consciousness for a while, then after around 2.5 years, when Prabhupada has many disciples, Prabhupada went to India around in the year 1970, 1971. And then Prabhupada again stayed for almost 50 days in his room in Radha Damodar Mandir. And then Prabhupada told the disciples, whoever can, to come to Vrindavan. And then over around 50 American disciples came from US, America to Vrindavan, and they would stay nearby Radha Damodar Mandir, and Prabhupada would stay in his room. And Prabhupada shared his room with some of his disciples also. At that point of time, Srila Prabhupada gave discourse for 1 month, morning and evening, on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, to those people who were becoming serious in Krishna consciousness. He spoke about Nectar of Devotion. So Prabhupada always valued these 2 scriptures, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Nectar of Devotion. So now those who have been to Vrindavan, it is at those 2 places at Radha Damodar Mandir, you can envision the samadhi of Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami. In fact, the original scriptures that Rupa Goswami wrote uh, with his hands, they are still preserved today in Vrindavan Institute. Radha Damodar Mandir, it was originally Radha Damodar Mandir, but later they donated to ISKCON. So we have a Vrindavan Institute, a research institute. There the original scriptures of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and others are saved for thousands of years to come. They will stay there for next 10,000 years. Then Sanatana Goswami Samadhi is in Madan Mohan Mandir, Radha Madan Mohan. Then Raghunath Das Goswami Samadhi is on the bank of Radha Kund. And then Gopal Bhatt Goswami Samadhi is on the bank of Shyama Kund. Raghunath Bhatt Goswami is in Vrindavan. Then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Both of their samadhi is in Sri Chaitanya Math, the headquarters of Gaudiya Math. that was started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Both their samadhi is there. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur Samadhi is in Godrum Dweep. You should go to Navadweep, Vrindavan. There, one of the Dweep is Godrum Dweep. You will see the Samadhi of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Then if you go to Kola Dweep, which is you have to cross Jalangi River, which is a tribute of Ganga. Then there is the personal deities worshipped by Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and um, the full body samadhi of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is there in Koladu. And of course, Srila Prabhupada's samadhi is in Krishna Balram Mandir in his temple in Vrindavan. So you can visit these acharyas and these Goswamis and imprint their samadhi. Then in Radha Gokulananda Mandir in Vrindavan, there is a samadhi of Lokanath Goswami. There is a samadhi of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, whose Prabhupada used to take his purports to give description. Then in Radha Gokulananda Mandir, there is a samadhi of Narottam Das Thakur. Then in Dhir Samira, which is very close to Vamshi in Vrindavan, there is samadhi of Srinivasacharya. And there is samadhi of Ramchandra Puri, his foremost disciple. Um, um, so we discussed about where the location of the 5 acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, then in Radha Modar Mandir there is a samadhi of Bhugarba Goswami. And then we discussed about the 6 Goswamis, Srinivasacharya Samadhi, Narottam Das Thakur Samadhi, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Samadhi, Lokanath Goswami Samadhi, Bhugarba Goswami Samadhi. And there are so many samadhis in Vrindavan, Radhakund area, and then in Navadvip Mayapur. All the 4 acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Krishna Babaji Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur, and Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. All of these 4 Acharya Samadhi is in Navadvip, and the Goswamis and their Samadhi is in Vrindavan. So I know many devotees, every day they offer prayers, pranam mantras to all these personalities, because there is no scope of progressing without the mercy of Mahajanayana Katha Saptam, the Mahajans, our Acharyas, the disciplic succession. And during initiation, our Guru Maharaj connects us to this whole parampara. And by hearing the glories of these personalities, you will become very serious in your Krishna consciousness, how they live their lives. Today we'll discuss something about Srinivasacharya. Likewise, that every life is glorious. Whether it is Gaur Pishotas Babaji Maharaj, Gaur Pishotas Babaji Maharaj, disappearance day is on Sunday, which is 2 days from now. That's the month of Kartik is so glorious. We just recently celebrated the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. Today is disappearance day of Srinivasacharya. 2 days from now, disappearance day of Gaur Pishotas Babaji Maharaj. Hear about him. Hear about Jagannath, the glory of Jagannath Babaji Maharaj, the glories of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the glories of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the glories of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the glories of Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, the glories of Narottam Das Thakur, the glory of Srinivasacharya. Hear about him, because if it requires an endeavor, If you put that endeavor, you'll be greatly enthused in your Krishna consciousness. One second. So there is so much to hear about. Now I will tell you something about Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya, his father and his mother, they were his father was very much attracted to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That and this is very Srinivasacharya's story is little bit disheartening also of what Srinivasacharya went through. So hear very attentively, carefully, um, and then pray to him. If you pray to him today, you may receive his mercy. So Srinivasacharya, his father name was Gangadhar, and his mother name was Lakshmi Priya. They both um, um, they both were from Bengal, and they would live in a village called Jajigram. Many of you may not have heard. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will come across all these names. Jajigram. If you go to Navadip na, during the time of God Purnima, they do a 1 month parikrama of Navadip, because so many things are there in Navadip. So many pastime places in Navadip. Um, and I have personally heard devotees while living in Vrindavan, those who cannot attain perfection in Vrindavan, after going to Navadvip, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, they attain perfection. That because they are Karuna Avatar, they will give you perfection if you take shelter of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So there is a place called Jajigram, and Gangadhar heard about the glory of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very attracted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but somehow he could never go and meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then years passed, 24 years passed, Mahaprabhu pastimes were happening in Navadvip. But that time to go from one place to another, it takes a lot, because the only option is to walk. Like we hear during the 4 months, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to call all the associates. We will hear all these pastimes going forward. Right now we are South India tour, but once Mahaprabhu comes back, we will see that Mahaprabhu gave instruction that for 4 months every year you all come from Bengal. So it takes a lot to come there, and many pastimes happens there. So Jajigram to Navadip Mayapur is little distance. So Gangadhar, he could not meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking sannyas in Katwa, and Katwa is around 7 miles from Jajigram. So Gangadhar and his wife Lakshmi Priya, they wanted a child, but for a long time they were not able to conceive a child. So, and Gangadhar was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, but never saw him physically. So when he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to Katwa to take sannyas, Gangadhar could not stop himself, because it's just 7 miles. So just few hours walk. So he walked, he ran to witness Lord Chaitanya. And it is described that this is a very sad pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. We covered at the end of Adi Leela. Um, the people were shouting and howling. They were unlimited people gathered there, and they were all shouting, "If you cut the hair of Nimai Pandit, we will commit suicide by entering into Ganga." And in that way, the barber was not willing. Keshav Bharati, his sannyas guru, was stunned when Nimai Pandit was there. Nityananda Prabhu was there, Kunda was there, Gopinath was there, Chandrasekhar was there. So they all were there, these five associates, and they were, it is said, thousands of people. And Gangadhar also went there, and the father of Srinivasacharya. And Gangadhar was calling Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. But there was such huge mob, they were opposing, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is looking at everybody and he's smiling. Then we know the pastime we discussed when Mahaprabhu told, perform Kirtan. So Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda, they all started Kirtan, and the whole, everybody hearts melted. That time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the barber, cut right now. And then he cut the hairs. So Keshav Bharati gave him the name, from now your name will be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. At that time, Gangadhar was calling Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. Nobody heard it. So finally, because Mahaprabhu glanced at Gangadhar, Gangadhar received pure love of Krishna just by the glance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gangadhar became mad. And then Gangadhar went back to Jajigram, his village. Um, And then all the way while going back, he would chant Chaitanya, 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 and he was intoxicated. Prema wish, in love of God. And then he went there. His wife, by the association of Gangadhar, she became intoxicated. She also calling out Chaitanya, Chaitanya. The villagers became intoxicated. They also calling out Chaitanya, Chaitanya. And everybody started naming Gangadhar with a nickname that everybody, when they saw Gangadhar, they would call him Chaitanya Das. Chaitanya Das. Then, because of the intense separation that Gangadhar and his wife Lakshmi Priya were experiencing, they both went to Puri, where Mahaprabhu went after sannyas. And it took couple of years after Mahaprabhu came back from South India tour. Simultaneously, we are discussing Mahaprabhu South India tour, but after South India tour, Mahaprabhu's return to Puri. That time this new name Chaitanya Das or Gangadhar, whichever name you call, and his wife, they went and they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally gave them blessings. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them his remnants. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his servant Govinda to take Chaitanya Das to take darshan of Jagannath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged for the accommodation of Chaitanya Das and his wife. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Govinda that I know that they are looking for a son. I saw them praying to Jagannath. Tell them, Mahaprabhu told Govinda, tell them that a great Vaishnava will be born. He will be the incarnation of my ecstasies. So it is said that Srinivasacharya was the incarnation of the ecstasies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And tell them he will be born and he will distribute the literatures of the Goswamis all over India, all over Bengal, everywhere. And that's something Srinivasacharya did. Now, naturally, we cannot cover. I have seen pure devotees speaking about Srinivasacharya for practically 8 to 10 hours just on the life because so much description is given about the life of Srinivasacharya. Then they were very happy. Then Chaitanya Das received the blessing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They know a great devotee will be born. Then Chaitanya Das and his wife went back to Jajigram, and then soon after, a beautiful child was born. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, name him Srinivas. And that's how they named him Srinivas. And right from the childhood, um, his wife and his father would only tell to Srinivas. His name was not Srinivas Acharya that time. His name was just Srinivas because he received the title from Jiva Goswami very, very, very later on during his youth. Srinivas and his wife and father would only speak about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srinivas from the very early childhood. And he was supremely attracted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had an extreme desire to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But naturally, Jajigram, far away, Mahaprabhu living in Puri, so he was waiting. So now there is another devotee who would live in Kulia. His name was Narahari Sarkar. Nara, if you sing Gaura Arti, Narahari Adi Kori. So the word Narahari comes in. The word Narahari comes in um, evening Gaura Arati. That was written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not allow anybody to sing for him other than very selected souls. And one of them was Narahari Sarkar. Because of his pure devotion to Lord Chaitanya, he would sing the songs from Geet Govinda, Chandidas, and other that Mahaprabhu would like to hear. And he would sing very devotionally for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srinivas was very, very youth, and he got the association of Narahari. And Narahari taught him various scriptures. In fact, at one point of time, it is said that Saraswati came to the dream of Narahari and she said, I have revealed the import of all the scriptures in the heart of Srinivasacharya. So, very divine childhood pastimes. Um, um, uh, then Narahari told Srinivas that we don't know how long Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will stay in Jagannath Puri. I want you to go and see him as soon as possible. Narahari was getting a feeling that Mahaprabhu may soon end his earthly pastimes. That time, Srinivas was a teenager because um, his father and mother met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before even his birth. And Mahaprabhu was already in his 27th, so 20 more years to go before his departure. Then Srinivasacharya appeared after some time, and then Srinivasacharya was in his late teenagers. Um, um, but that time, what happened? His father passed away. um, um, Chaitanya Das passed away. He was sick for 7 days. So Srinivasacharya waited, performed the last rites, made arrangements for the settlement of his mother, and then took permission from Narahari, and started for Jagannath Puri. It took him many months to reach Jagannath Puri, and then when he arrived at Jagannath Puri, he he came to know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has departed. So Srinivasacharya never actually physically met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he was there for maybe over 16, 17 years while Mahaprabhu was on the planet, but he never physically met. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before he departed, he sent a letter. He told Gadadhar Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani, he told Gadadhar Pandit that you speak and explain Srimad Bhagavatam to Srinivas. He is the expansion of my spiritual ecstasies. He will come explain Bhagavatam to him. And then he sent a letter to Rup, Sanatan, and Raghu and Gopal Bhatta Goswami in Vrindavan, that you all take care of Srinivasacharya and educate him in spiritual life, because through the books of the Goswamis, Mahaprabhu gave the knowledge, imbibed the knowledge to Rup and Sanatan, and then they wrote books. And then Mahaprabhu sent a letter that take Srinivas under your care to Rup and Sanatan. So this happened, and then when Srinivasacharya went to Puri and he came to know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already left, everybody knew Srinivas because Mahaprabhu would speak about Srinivas. Just like Mahaprabhu would speak about Narottam Das Thakur also. He gave the love of God to Narottam Das Thakur, and he kept it in river Padma. He told river Padma, when my sage Narottam will come, my devotee Narottam will come, give this love of God to him. I'm keeping it for him in store with you. And Narottam came and he took River Padma, asked, how will I know? So many people come and take bath. How will I know who is your devotee? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the River Padma, this is Bangladesh, River Padma, current Bangladesh. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told River Padma that when Narottam will take bath in your waves, you will not be able to contain yourself because of the spiritual ecstasy, and your waves will flood. You'll become very agitated in ecstasy. So many people, thousands of people come and take bath every day. But when Narottam Das came, Narottam Das Thakur Narottam came, River Padma went into ecstasy, and then the personified River Padma came and gave darshan to Narottam, and she told Narottam that Mahaprabhu has told love of God, and she gave him love of God, and Narottam became golden in complexion. So likewise, Srinivas Mahaprabhu would talk about Srinivasacharya also. And Mahaprabhu told Gadadhar Pandit that you speak Bhagavatam to him. So everybody knew. When he went there, he came to know, he met many associates of Lord Chaitanya, and they all guided Srinivas to go to Tota Gopinath Mandir. You all should go to Tota Gopinath Mandir. It's in Jagannath Puri, where um, it is that is the Tota Gopinath is the deity into which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ended to end his earthly pastime. He just went, took his shawl, threw the shawl in the temple um, um, hall, and just jumped into the deity and entered into Tota Gopinath deity. So they will still see you if you go in the morning Mangal Aarti time in Tota Gopinath Mandir in Jagannath Puri. They will show you a golden crack, a golden line on the foot of Tota Gopinath. They will give you darshan where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered. And Gadadhar Pandit used to stay there always. And Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani. He took Chaitra Sannyas and he would personally worship Tota Gopinath. So Srinivasacharya went to the temple of Tota Gopinath and he met Gadadhar Pandit. And Gadadhar Pandit was in deep lamentation from separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gadadhar Pandit, Srimati Radharani, she cannot live long without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gadadhar Pandit told Srinivas that yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told me to explain Srimad Bhagavatam to you. I have a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, but it is not readable because of my TS in separation. All that time there was no printing. That time it was all handwritten with the ink made from flowers. So that's how they would get. So to acquire a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam was extremely rare that time. It just have to be copied. That's all. So he said because of my TS, the all the ink was blurred. Fail jana ink was, yeah. So it was not readable Srimad Bhagavatam. So Gadadhar Pandit said, since it is instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I want to explain you Srimad Bhagavatam, but first acquire a copy of Bhagavatam. Then Gadadhar Pandit sent a letter to Narahari Sarkar, who was a Siksha Guru of Srinivasacharya, um, that I want to teach Bhagavatam. Can you arrange a Bhagavatam? Gadadhar Pandit sent a letter. Then Narahari Sarkar said, yes, there is a copy of Bhagavatam. I'll send a messenger right away to deliver it to you. But Gadadhar Pandit told Srinivasacharya, you personally go, quickly run and get a copy because I don't know how long I will stay here. I can't stay long in separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srinivasacharya started going back to Narahari Sarkar to Kulia to bring the copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. He acquired a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then as he was coming back, Gadadhar Pandit could not sustain his life. Gadadhar Pandit again and again would think how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come every day, perform pastimes. His association and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has departed, and he went into such deep state of lamentation that he also entered into his worshipable deity Tota Gopinath, and he disappeared. All the Panch Tattva, there is no Samadhi of Panch Tattva. They all disappeared, entered and disappeared. Nityananda Prabhu entered into the deity of um, in Eka Chakradham. There is a deity. I'm forgetting the name of the deity. Very beautiful Krishna deity. When I went 2-3 years back, I spent some time there. Very beautiful deity. Um, 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 Anyways, so they Srinivasacharya received a letter that Gadadhar has disappeared from this planet. And then Gadadhar Pandit came in a dream to Srinivasacharya, and he told Srinivas that go and take shelter of Roop and Sanathan. They will give you everything you need. And then again, some time passed by, and Gadadhar Pandit told Srinivasacharya that you keep going forward. That's all he said. Keep going forward. Um, so he tried to study Srimad Bhagavatam by himself. He tried to hear from Narahari Sarkar. And Narahari Sarkar also got a dream. Now, another thing that happened is Janava Mata, who is the wife of Nityananda Prabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, Nityananda Prabhu also disappeared. Nityananda Prabhu ran to Eka Chakra and he entered into the deity in Eka Chakra. So Nitai is gone and his wife Janava Mata was still there. So Janava Mata went to Vrindavan. You may have heard one time, I remember, I think a couple of years back or maybe 2 years back, we discussed about the story of Janava Mata. So Janava Mata, she went to Vrindavan and she met Roop and Sanatan Goswami, and she met Raghunath Das Goswami, she met Jiva Goswami, like that. So Roop and Sanatan Goswami told Janava Mata that send Srinivas here. So Janva Mata, when she came back to Bengal, she told Narahari to send Srinivas to Vrindavan under care of Rup and Sanatan. So then Narahari again told Srinivasacharya that you go to Vrindavan and meet Rup and Sanatan and they will fulfill all your desires. So Srinivasacharya then again went to Navadeep first. He met Vishnu Priya, the widowed wife of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he met Janwa Mata personally. He met Abhiram Thakur. And then he met many associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because it takes months to walk. And then he would meet many associates on the way. He went to Allahabad and he went to Varanasi. In Varanasi, he stayed in the home of Chandrasekhar Acharya, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 2 months. So in Allahabad, likewise, wherever Lord Associate and Lord Devotees were there, Srinivas will take shelter there and keep walking next day, next day, next day, like that he was going to Vrindavan. And then 4 days before arriving to Vrindavan, he received a news that Sanatan Goswami has disappeared from the planet. Um, and then that was another heartbreaking news. Then Srinivasacharya thought, I will take shelter of Rupa Goswami. And then he continued. And just before he arrived Vrindavan, he heard the news that Rupa Goswami has also departed out of separation from Sanatan Goswami. At that time, Rupa and Sanatan appeared to. So this was the initial. So his life moved in such a way that he could not meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He could not hear Shrimad Bhagavatam. And many times he would think, why this is happening to me? Why I'm not able to receive the mercy of any of the great Vaishnavas in a way to hear. Um, Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Gadadhar Pandit that you hear Krishna's pastimes to Srinivas, but he could not hear. You need a pure Vaishnava. So now Rup and Sanatan, they also departed. So then Rup and Sanatan appeared to Srinivas and they said, do not worry, Srinivas, take shelter of Jiva Goswami. He will fulfill all your desires. And Rupa Goswami, before departing, Jiva Goswami naturally knows they're all living together, all the six Goswamis. So when Srinivas went there, and then he was in lamentation. At one point of time, he thought it's better to end my life because I could not receive the mercy of any of these great Vaishnav saints. That time, people came to know Srinivas has finally come to Vrindavan, and um, um, Srinivas, he went to the temple of Rupa Goswami, which is Radha Govind Dev Mandir. You all can go when you go to Vrindavan. Radha Govind Dev, the temple, the deities served by Rupa Goswami, personal deities found by Rupa Goswami. Um, and when he was contemplating on ending his life, that time Jiva Goswami entered from behind. And Jiva Goswami came to this is Srinivas. So Jiva Goswami was ecstatic. And when Srinivas heard that this is Jiva Goswami, Srinivasacharya was ecstatic. So in that way, there is a divine meeting, the first meeting of Jiva Goswami and Srinivas. Srinivas actually also asked Narahari, his Siksha Guru, that initiate me with the Mahamantra. But Narahari Sarkar told that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed me that you will receive initiation from Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And in Vrindavan, that happened. When Srinivas came, he got initiated from Gopal Bhatta Goswami and he received Siksha from Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami was very scholarly in Vrindavan. And then at that point of time, Narottam Das Thakur, there's a parallel story, great story about Narottam Das Thakur. He was told by Nityananda Prabhu, go to Vrindavan. So these are all great stories. And the third is Dukhi Krishna Das, who later on came to be known as Shyamananda Pandit. They all flocked in, and there are these three friends. One is Srinivas, one is Narottam, and one is Shyamananda. And they all three were foremost students of Jiva Goswami. They studied under Jiva Goswami. And after spending many years in Vrindavan and very deep bhajan, they would perform, all three of them. Then Jiva Goswami and their individual spiritual master, um, um, Narottam Das Thakur, took initiation from Lokanath Goswami. Srinivasacharya took initiation from Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Shyamananda Pandit was already a disciple of Hriday Chaitanya, who was a disciple of Gauridas Pandit in Bengal. We heard the story of Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu, self-manifested deity of Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu at it's still there. When you go to Navadvip, Mayapur, you can go to what is this place? Um, 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 bad memory. There is a Kulinagram. I think Kulinagram. There is this place where there is that self-manifested deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Prabhu still there. So these three were fast friends. And Jiva Goswami, he gave them the instruction, now you go and preach in Bengal and Orissa. And Janava Mata gave instruction to Jiva Goswami. She was the leader at that time. This is like we are talking about second generation after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Janava Mata was the leader. She had many disciples. So she told Jiva Goswami to send all the work by the Goswamis to Bengal because there was um, um, printing began in Bengal. So send all the works to Bengal so the Goswami's work can be printed and can be widely distributed because that point of time, if now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instruction to Rupa and Sanatan, and Rupa and Sanatan, based on instruction from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita, and many books. Raghunath Das Goswami wrote. Then the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are so many Vaishnavas who are preached by, many were preached by Nityananda Prabhu. Many were preached by so many Advaita Acharya, many were preached by Gadadhar Pandit. These are big lines, hundreds and thousands of Vaishnavas were there that time. Of course, a decline came soon after that, but there were hundreds, thousands of disciples. They are chanting the holy names, but they don't know the entire philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It was personally spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa and Sanatan, and Rupa and Sanatan wrote it in his books. That's why those literature contain the essence of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. That's why Rupa Goswami told Srila Prabhupada that you speak on Chaitanya Charitamrita and you speak on Nectar of Devotion because that contains the Siddhanta of Gaudiya, our line, Siddhanta, Mahaprabhu's line. That teachings is there in those books. When you study, soon we will come to the chapter of Mahaprabhu instruction to Rupa Goswami. Mahaprabhu, so right now Mahaprabhu is in South India too. In 2 weeks he will go back from South India. Then he will start from Vrindavan. When he will go to Vrindavan, we will see he on the way he give instruction to Rupa Goswami, he give instruction to Sanatana Goswami. Those instructions will come. Before that, beautiful pastimes of how Maharaj Pratap Rudra received the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that will come. So this is all in flow. So now at that point of time, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, if they want to know about the true import of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, real Krishna conscious philosophy, the only option is you have to go and study under Jiva Goswami because he only has the books. By this point of time, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami left. Raghunath Das Goswami is doing bhajan in Radhakund. And he told Jiva Goswami, here is my book. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami has already left. And he gave Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's all just one copy of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Upadeshamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Govinda Lilamrita, and Raghunath Das Goswami's Mana Siksha was there. Vilap Kushmanjali was there, and all these great literatures, Rupa Goswami, um, um, Vidagdha Madhav, Lalita Madhava, Uddhava Sandesh, um, 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 many other books, and there is all just one original copy. So Janma Mata said, send all these copies to Bengal and we'll reprint them. Now this is the biggest responsibility Jiva Goswami had. At the same time, Jiva Goswami wanted to show by example that we are meant, Mahaprabhu came to give holy name to everyone. So simultaneously do the service, take all these books and get them printed in Bengal and distribute the message of Krishna consciousness all over Bengal and Orissa. Actually, Srinivasacharya and Narottam Das Thakur, they both took the responsibility of Bengal, and Shyamananda Pandit took the responsibility of Orissa, spreading Krishna consciousness in Orissa. So now Jiva Goswami, now this is the gold piece, the golden literature, the only copy. If this is gone, life is finished. Gaudiya Vaishnavism is finished. So the whole life and soul of entire Mahaprabhu's movement, because Mahaprabhu did not personally write anything. The entire philosophy is actually in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and all these books, and they were all, so Jiva Goswami entrusted these all the books to the three foremost trusted pure Vaishnavas. They were Srinivas, Narottam, and Shamananda. And just before, so Jiva Goswami told them that you three take this service. So what Jiva Goswami did, Jiva Goswami is very, very influential personality. At some point of time, we should hear in detail about Jiva Goswami. How influential was Jiva Goswami? When Rupa Goswami left, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami was there, Raghunath Das Goswami was there. They and then Lokanath Goswami was there. They all came for the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami and they all told Jiva Goswami, now you are the leader of Vrindavan. And they all interested. Krishna's Kavinath Goswami anyways left. So they all interested their books. So Jiva Goswami, he was the leader. So he arranged 10 guards, 10 guards to protect these three saints and the books, 10 guards from a wealthy merchant from Mathura. Jiva Goswami was very influential. Then Raja Man Singh was a king of Jaipur. So Jiva Goswami took from Raja Man Singh all the Raja Man Singh was very influential personality and a pure Vaishnava. That's why all the deities later on went to Jaipur. These are all very, very nectarian pastimes. So so Jiva Goswami took the letter from Raja Man Singh that will give all the necessary permission for these three Vaishnav saints and the guards and the books to pass all the borders, because that time, like now if you go, you have tolls when you enter different. That time there were borders and there were many paperwork and all those things. But if you have the permission directly coming from Raja Man Singh from Jaipur, everything is waived off. So he arranged that. So Jiva Goswami, he was such a brilliant personality that he would make all necessary arrangements for all the services. In fact, Raghunath Das Goswami, when he wanted to build Radha Kund, like, first he was thinking, how can I have a desire to build Radha Kund? How can I give a bhajan to build Radha Kund? That time we know one saint was going to Kedarnath, and Lord Shiva came and he said, give all your wealth to Raghunath Das in Vrindavan. So he came and he gave all the wealth. And Raghunath Das Goswami called Jiva Goswami and told Jiva Goswami, you take charge of the construction of Radha Kund. Because Jiva Goswami was so kind of, all-rounder personality. Um, uh, he would take care of the temple of Rupa Goswami, Radha Govind Dev Mandir. He would take care of his own deity Radha Mother. He was simultaneously helping Raghunath Das Goswami in construction of Radha Kund. He was simultaneously educating all the Vaishnavas who would flock. Any Vaishnav who would come to Vrindavan, Jiva Goswami would give them accommodation and food and all the arrangements. And arranging for these Vaishnavas for the books to be printed, for preaching to happen. So Jiva Goswami was like brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And Jiva Goswami himself has written over 400,000 verses, which is more than the verses that Vyasadeva wrote. Jiva Goswami scholarship, Jiva Goswami writings, and many Goswamis when they left, many of the works were not fully complete or not perfectly in order. So Jiva Goswami did that. When Sanatan Goswami left, there was some part missing here and there from um, 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 Hari Bhakti Vilas, the book written by Sanatan Goswami. And then he reorganized, he added here and there, and then he completed the book Hari Bhakti Vilas. Likewise, it took some time for Jiva Goswami to kind of give a complete structure, because they're all papers and leaves. And where the papers would come from? Jiva Goswami would arrange the papers from Raja Man Singh from Jaipur, and they are handmade papers. Still, you can get those handmade papers from Jaipur. Jiva Goswami would Raja Man Singh, the Jaipur was so influenced by Jiva Goswami that they invited Jiva Goswami to Jiva Goswami, because the personality is so magnanimous. They invited Jiva Goswami to Jaipur. Jiva Goswami has taken a vow, I will never leave Vrindavan. So Then Jiva Goswami accepted on one condition, that I will come to Jaipur and I will return on the same day. And then Raja arranged bullock carts, horses, and guards and many things to bring Jiva Goswami for a couple of hours to that temple, because Raja Man Singh was a pure devotee. And Jiva Goswami is like, everything is there in Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami went there, he spoke. Raja Man Singh was extremely pleased with Jiva Goswami. His devotion, anything Jiva Goswami spoke, everything was astounding. So Raja Man Singh asked Jiva Goswami, asked for any benediction. Jiva Goswami said, give me papers to write. So Jiva Goswami would arrange paper from Jaipur, and Mughals will attack from Delhi. So these Mughals are they were very cruel people. Akbar and all, some of them, not really Akbar, but yeah, some of them, Mughals, they would break all the temples. So Jiva Goswami took the permission, and his brilliance is too much. He signed the lease of the temple with Mughals along with Raja Man Singh, because Raja Man Singh is very powerful. Raja Man Singh can defeat Mughals also. So he would take the name and the place in accordance with Raja Man Singh and Mughal, so that Mughal won't break his temples. He would think on that aspect. And then Jiva Goswami was the one who bought all the land of Seva Kunj, where Radha Govind Dev Mandir, Nidhivan, and Seva Kunj, and Radha Modar Mandir, the whole huge land. Jiva Goswami bought that time for 5 rupees. And when Jiva Goswami departed, before him, he wrote a will, that who will be the pujari for Radha Mother, who will be the pujari for Radha Govind Dev, who will be the pujari, who will take care of Raghunandan Das Goswami's Radha Kund, who. There is still a will in Vrindavan Institute of that is signed by Raghunandan Das Goswami, where he entrusts Jiva Goswami to be the manager who will oversee all the activities at Radha Kund. That will is still there in Vrindavan Institute. So Jiva Goswami was like, very, very um, kind of all-rounder personality. So he arranged for bullock carts, and then he arranged for a huge trunk, and he bolted the trunks with the huge, pieces of like bolts, huge trunk and bullock cart, and there were there were two bullock carriers who would guide the bullock carts, because so many books it's heavy. So bulls are there, bullock cart is there, bull man is there, 10 guards are there, and the 3 saints are there. And in that way, Jiva Goswami and many other saints, they came to see of these 3 saints, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya, and Shyamananda Pandit. Just before their departure, Jiva Goswami told Narottam, now your name will be Narottam Das Thakur. He gave him the subtitle Thakur. He gave the subtitle of Acharya to Srinivas, and he gave the title of Pandit to Shyamananda. Previously, their name was Shyamananda, Narottam, and Srinivas. Now they became Srinivasacharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Shyamananda Pandit. And they all 3 went, and with these 10 guards and 2 bullock cart personalities, and the 3 bulls and the cart and everything, with the paper from Raja Man Singh, everything set. Jiva Goswami would take care of every possible inconveniences, and he would resolve right away, because so brilliant. So then Jiva Goswami went all the way with them to Mathura. And then he finally sent them off, and Jiva Goswami and other Bhugarbha Goswami and those who stayed longer, they all came back, and these 3 continued. So they went to Agra, then they went all the way to Bengal. And um, 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 when they reach Bengal, there was a sign of relief, because that's the destination. They have to get to the location where Janava Mata has requested for the printing to happen. She has made all the arrangements, so now they're very close. And then they came to, now some of you may have heard the story, but I may speak little more details, but still I'll be very quick. At the same time, I want to at least 10 minutes discuss about some Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some progress there also. So There was a king there. His name was King Biramveer. Um, um, King Viramveer. Veer is his name and Humveer is his caste. So he was commonly known by the name King Viramveer. So um, he was a dacoit. He was a Vaishnav and he was a dacoit. Very interesting. So the whole kingdom, they were to some extent, they had devotion, but by caste they were dacoits. So the astrologer, he told this King Viramveer that uh, 10 guards with bullock carts with 3 saints, they are all going to cross your kingdom, and they are carrying a huge trunk which has which has things that are more valuable than the gold and jewels and the monies and anything that exists in that village. If you get that, my astrological calculation says your life will be successful. The astrologers were so expert that time. In fact, if you see Sanatan Goswami's pastime, Sanatan Goswami was just released from the prison by by the money that was sent by Rupa Goswami. He bribed the jailer and then he got released. And then with his servant Ishan, he was going, and then he stayed in a hotel. And the hotel man told him that I will help you cross the river, and here is some food, and made all the arrangements. Sanatan Goswami was a minister, so he thought, why he's helping me? So Sanatan Goswami asked, he got a hint. So he asked Ishan, do you have some money? And are you carrying any valuable things? And Ishan said, I have 7 gold coins. So Sanatan Goswami said, give me those 7 gold coins. And he went to the manager of the hotel and he said, we have these 7 gold coins. You are helping us very much. Take this and just help us cross the river, because I'm a prisoner of the government. I cannot go to the normal route. So guide me to the forest path. And I want to go to Vrindavan. Guide me to the forest path. So the manager, he said, "Oh, thank you, you saved me from committing such a grievous sin. My astrologer told me that you have 8 gold coins. My plan was to kill both of you and get those 8 gold coins, but I was feeling very bad because I know you are a saintly person to kill you. But now you have given, I am very impressed by your behavior. You keep these gold coins with you and I will help you cross." Sanatan Goswami said, no, no, no. You keep this with you, because if not you, somebody else will try to kill us, because this is the nature of these gold coins. So he was very impressed and then he helped Sanatan release. Then Sanatan Goswami asked Ishan, are there some more valuables? And Ishan said, I have one more gold coin. So Sanatan Goswami said, okay, now you keep this with you and you return back. From here, my journey to Vrindavan will be all by myself alone. So there also we see the astrologer could predict Sanatan Goswami has 8 gold coins. Likewise, we see when these 3 great Maha Bhagavad Vaishnavas, when they were going with bullock carts and everything, they said, this, I don't know what it is, but it is more valuable than any possible jewels. And it is. And the astrologer told King Viramveer, your life will be fulfilled. You will have nothing else to attain in your kingdom if you have this treasure. But King Viramveer was thinking, this is some kind of very extremely valuable jewels. So when they were passing by the kingdom, um, all the 15 men slept. The 10 guards, the 3 Mahabhagavad Vaishnavas, and the 2 bullock cart people. And these people came without touching anybody, because King Viramveer was a saintly, to some extent he had some saintliness also. So he told that the thieves that don't kill them, don't harm them, just I want all the treasury. So they brought the treasury to him, and then King Viramveer went to his treasury room, surrounded by his intimate servants. It was covered by a red cloth, removed the cloth. It was hugely bolted. He broke all the bolts and whatever is required, opened, and then he saw there were books. And it is described that when he saw the books, he felt deep divinity and peace within his heart. And the on the very top, there was a sign by Rupa Goswami on a book that these are the Vaishnava scriptures. And then he opened and he started reading a book by Rupa Goswami. And as he was reading, he felt his heart was getting transformed. And he understood that they are brought by the great saintly people. So he asked the king, he asked the king that tell me truly, did you harm these people? And they said that no, we did not harm anyone. They were all sleeping. So the king again said, tell me truthfully, did you harm anyone, even a scratch on their body? So they said, no, nothing. They all were sleeping and we got this. And King Viramvir was heavily lamenting after reading the books that I have committed great sin to saintly person, because he was to some extent devotional and he would take the wealth and plunder those things, but he would not harm Vaishnavas and he would not cause displeasure to devotees of the Lord. So that's why he was feeling that I have committed a great sin that I cannot um, overcome because I have caused great pain to great saintly people, and these seems to be the future of the world. These seems to be greatly saintly books written by um, pure Vaishnava. So he treasured it in his treasury room, but he was feeling very bad. Srinivasacharya got up along with Shamananda and Narottam, and when they saw bullock cart is empty, everybody slept, and they all heavily lamented and cried, and they were in a lot of pain and anxiety. Srinivasacharya, being the leader, he told Narottam Das Thakur that Mahaprabhu mission should not stop. So I will take the responsibility of finding the books. I will stay here and see what I can do. Narottam Das, you go to Bengal and preach the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Shamananda Pandit, you go to Odisha, preach. And then what will the guards and bullock carts and bulls do now? Now the treasury is gone. So he sent them back to Vrindavan. And then with the cart and take everything. And alone Srinivas stayed there. Srinivas sent a letter to Jiva Goswami mentioning that all the books are lost. And Jiva Goswami with all the Goswamis, they like whoever was remaining, Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami were remaining, and Jiva Goswami were remaining. So he told all of them, and Lokanath Goswami, they all came to know, and they heavily lamented that all the books written by Srila Rupa, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, everything is lost. And then Jiva Goswami says, you have my blessings, try your best and Krishna will help you. So Srinivasacharya stayed there. And at that time, King Viramvir, he got a dream where an effulgent personality, Srinivasacharya, he came to his dream and he told that do not lament, um, uh, all your sinful reactions will be nullified by my mercy. And he doesn't know Srinivasacharya, no meeting, but he got a dream and he saw a Fulgent man saying, you will be relieved from all the sins shortly, do not limit. So now Srinivasacharya is all alone and there is a huge kingdom and the morning came and he doesn't know what to do. So he went into the kingdom and then he met one personality with whom he made friendship, and then the friend kind of gave him, any saintly person, they live on Madhukari, so they go and they bake food and everybody invites them. So this he was also a saintly man. He invited Srinivasacharya to his home and they had some discussion, and this saintly man could understand that Srinivasacharya is a Paramhamsa. He was a fully self-realized soul. So this saintly man told Srinivasacharya that every day the king, he holds discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, and why don't you come there? So Srinivasacharya is like, he was only praying to Krishna and he was completely going with the flow. So he said, yes, I would like to listen Srimad Bhagavatam. So take me tomorrow. So next day, this friend, he took to the kingdom, and there is King Viramvir there, and there is his wife is there, and there was a leader of Bhagavatam. His name was Vyasa Acharya. Vyasa Acharya is there, and there were many saintly people, and they would read Srimad Bhagavatam together, and Vyasa Acharya would give commentary. And Srinivasacharya heard, but Srinivasacharya was very dissatisfied because it was completely a misinterpretation of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Krishna Katha, Krishna Leela was going on. So Srinivasacharya did not say anything. So for 10-15 days, Srinivasacharya kept on going in that assembly. He would stay with his friend, the newly made friend, and he kept on going in the assembly. And then at one point of time, Srinivasacharya became intolerant. And he told Vyasacharya in the assembly in front of the king and the queen and other saintly people that what you are speaking is not in accordance with the commentary by Sridhar Swami and by other great acharyas. It is not authentic. Um, um, and then Vyasacharya, because he was kind of, everybody will listen, he was like the guru in a way, a kind of assumed guru, like a Brahmana, assumed Brahmana of entire kingdom of King Viramvi. So he became very upset, and he told Srinivasacharya that you're supposed to be very learned. What do you know about Srimad Bhagavatam? You just came 2 weeks back, and you are posing as if you know everything. So the king Viramvir, he was witnessing the argument. So the king Viramvir said to Srinivasacharya, "Why don't you explain Srimad Bhagavatam according to your understanding from bona fide acharyas, and let us see how you can explain." So then for few days, Srinivasacharya spoke Krishna Katha, Krishna's pastimes, and very deep katha was going on, very deep chapters were going on. And Srinivasacharya, when he spoke Krishna's pastimes, because of pure devotion of himself and the authentic commentary by Sridhar Swami and Gitacharyas, everybody heart started to melt. They all heard Shrimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha from Vyasacharya, and it was all on intellectual level. But when they heard from Srinivasacharya, every day they would have tears in their eyes, their love and devotion was increasing, their heart would melt, they would feel such pure divinity arising within their spiritual sentiments. And as few days passed, King Viramvir was convinced in his heart that I have never heard Srimad Bhagavatam and the pastimes of Krishna in a way Srinivas Acharya has described, and even Vyasacharya had tears in his eyes hearing Krishna Katha, and his heart also melted. And now it was a natural defeat for Vyasacharya. Vyasacharya surrendered to Srinivas Acharya. Um, and Srinivas Acharya, then um, the king gave lot of riches to Srinivas Acharya. And one time, um, the king asked Srinivasacharya to come and discuss Krishna Katha in his room personally. That time he arranged a quarter for 3 days, and the king and Srinivasacharya would live in next to next room, and every day they would discuss Krishna Katha with King Viramvir. Um, at that time, King Viramvir heard that whole night Srinivasacharya would loudly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in deep divine ecstasies, and he would hardly sleep. And his devotional mood, when he noticed the behavior of Srinivasacharya personally, King Viramvir surrendered his life. And King Viramvir asked Srinivasacharya, "How can I serve you? I want to surrender my life and soul to you." Srinivasacharya then, first time, he told King Viramvir that in your kingdom, the books the by my teachers, by the predecessors, the only copy that were personally instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and written by them, that knowledge doesn't exist anywhere else. It was confined in the heart of Rup and Sanatan and Raghunath Das and Krishna Das, and only exists in the form of writings, nowhere else. Those we were taking for printing to Bengal, and they have been stolen. in your kingdom. As soon as King Viramvir heard, King Viramvir started to cry, and King Viramvir heavily apologized, and he said, "I am that offender. I am that sinful man. Um, um, how can I atone for my sins?" And Srinivasacharya, as soon as he heard that, Srinivasacharya said, "Take me to that trunk." And then King Viramvir took him there to the treasury room. Srinivasacharya opened the trunk and he saw the books by Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami's books, Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sanatana Goswami. And when he saw all these books in front of his eyes, he melted into tears. Immediately, he composed a letter to Jiva Goswami and dispatched that the books have been retrieved by your mercy. All the books have been retrieved. And then Srinivasacharya told King Biramvir immediately arrange for a dhoop, a deep, a sandalwood, a flowers, a garland for the worship. And Srinivasacharya immediately worshipped all these grunts, Shiromani, this epitome, the precious jewel of all the scriptures, this Granth he worshipped. And on the same day, Srinivasacharya initiated King Viramvir into the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And naturally, the Guru, now Viramvir, his wife became a disciple of Srinivasacharya. Vyasacharya, who would speak, the unauthorized commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. He became the disciple of Srinivasacharya. Roommate of Srinivasacharya. He became the disciple of Srinivasacharya. And the whole kingdom became the disciple of Srinivasacharya. Everywhere the glory of Srinivasacharya were heard. All sinful activities in the kingdom stopped. Every decision King Viramvir would make would be according to the will of Srinivasacharya. And then Srinivasacharya sent the letter again to Jiva Goswami that not only the books are relieved, but the whole kingdom has surrendered to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Jiva Goswami was in ecstasy. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was in ecstasy because his guru, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, the spiritual master of Srinivasacharya, everybody was in ecstasy. It is said that there is no kingdom till date where everyone is a Vaishnava. King Viramvir made a rule: everybody in the kingdom can stay in my Rajya if he chants a minimum these many rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra on beats. Otherwise, he should immediately leave my kingdom. And the temple of Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, was established. Pure Vaishnava culture. Every day Srinivasacharya would train those people into Vaishnava culture, into the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaudiya and Krishna consciousness. And then Srinivas Acharya continued to Bengal, and he continued preaching further in Bengal. And then what all did not happen? Such divine life of Srinivasacharya then went. He gave shelter to his mother, Lakshmi Priya. He again met Narahari Sarkar, and Narahari Sarkar gave him instruction that your mother is alone, and I think you should get married. And Srinivasacharya accepted that instruction. So Srinivasacharya later on got married to Padmavati. Actually, he had two marriages. He got married to Ishani and Padmavati. And then uh, now this is Srinivasacharya. So one of the daughter was Hemalata. She later on became a spiritual master in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and she had many disciples. Um, uh, Ganga, um, uh, Hemalata, and he has, I think, one more son and one more daughter, something like that. So then Srinivasacharya traveled all over Bengal along with his wife, and he had many disciples. And then later on, um, after that, the story goes on and on and on. Then he went to Vrindavan. He went alone this time, and after that, his life was again alone. And then he again went to the kingdom of King Viramvi. He exhibited many divine pastimes. He would go into samadhi, and his foremost disciple was Ramchandra Puri. Now I'm just going forward. Ramchandra Puri was the closest friend of Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur and Ramchandra Puri would preach together in Bengal. At one point of time, Srinivasacharya took Ramchandra Puri with him and went to Vrindavan, because Srinivasacharya came to know that it's time for Ramchandra Puri to depart. That time, Ramchandra Puri later on he departed. Srinivasacharya also departed in Vrindavan, and his samadhi is in Dhir Samira, which is next to Vamshivata in Vrindavan. And next to the samadhi of Srinivasacharya is the samadhi of his foremost disciple Ramchandra Puri. And he exhibited many divine pastimes. In fact, when the second time Srinivasacharya went to Vrindavan, it is said that his deepness kept on increasing, and beyond bounds. And then again, Jiva Goswami went him to train his disciples. Then again, Jiva Goswami um, um, requested Srinivasacharya to go back to Bengal. And then when he again second time he came to the kingdom of King Biramvi, that time his samadhi was so intense. Sometimes he would go in samadhi for 2-3 days and he would not come back. At one point of time, this is a short story. There are many stories of the samadhi of Srinivasacharya. At one point of time, he entered into his eternal form in Golok Vrindavan. That time, the Holi was going on in Vrindavan, and he was on the side of Radharani, and Krishna and the Gopas were on one side, and the Sakhis were on the other side. They were throwing color, and a lot of things happened, and Krishna threw a lot of color on Srinivasacharya. And Srinivasacharya, when he threw completely being colored by Lord Shri Krishna, his meditation broke, and then he opened and he saw he has colors all over his body. And then he became fearful that, oh, what will people think of me? Because for a Vaishnav, we saw that our acharyas are always afraid of prestige. So then he was able to hide what had happened there. And there were many places where he would go into samadhi and he would enter into the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna and serve Lord Shri Krishna in those pastimes. Eternally, Srinivas Acharya served Srimati Radharani as Mani Manjari in spiritual world. They all actually, they all our acharyas, they descend from spiritual world just for the sake of um, assisting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in delivering the conditioned souls from this material existence. So that's something about Srinivasacharya, and I think that's all for today. Today is also Gopashtami, and there is a detailed description on Gopashtami and how it so happened that Krishna took the charge of the cows. Because when he was taking care of calves, he would just take care of calves nearby. He would not go far. But then if you get the cows, then you can go to Govardhan, you can go to Vrindavan, you can go to Nandagaon, you can go all the 12 forests, because cows goes very far. So Mother Yashoda and Rohini and Nanda Baba, they were all not in favor of Krishna taking care of cows, because the child always remained child for the parents. So they were like, how will he go alone so far, and it's not safe, and what if he's lost, but if he doesn't know the way back, what if. And then they were very hesitant. And then, because these are eternal pastimes of Krishna, Gocharan Leela, every day eternal in spiritual world he goes to graze the cows. Then Krishna would, without he would deceive others, Mother Yashoda and Nanda, and he would go out anyways with his friends, and he would come in the evening, and there were a lot of concerns. Then they spoke to a lot of Brahmanas, and then they all said, well, I think He is growing up. He's in sixth year. Krishna is in sixth year now. He's growing up, and I don't think he's a cowherd. So this is his natural appetite to herd the cows. We don't think that we can stop him for long. I think we should choose a auspicious day, and we should give the care of cows to Gopal and all the cowherd boys, and we should kind of allow them to become the full cowherd boys instead of just taking care of cows. Otherwise, from his activities, he's going all over the place. Is creating more concern. So finally, they choose this particular day, the ninth lunar day, and on this day, Krishna was given the charge of the cows, and that's why this day, Lord Shri Krishna was extremely happy because his unfulfilled desire was sanctified, and from today onwards, he would go all over Vrindavan because he wanted to go all over Vrindavan to all the forests and be with cowherd boys and take care of cows and play many games. He had that desire, but he was getting restricted because of the love of Mother Yashoda and Rohini and Nanda Baba. But on this day he was allowed. So this Leela then eternally happened. This is the eternal pastime of the Lord, which began like when Krishna came, many eternal pastimes they gradually began in earthly Leela, although they are Nitya pastimes. So this is one Leela that began from today, although eternally these are Krishna's pastimes. So that's all we will discuss today. No Chaitanya Charitamrita. If there are some discussion we can take, otherwise we continue the next week. Are there any questions? Were you able to understand, get some feeling about the life of Srinivasacharya?
Yes, bro.
Okay. Somehow the names are exchanged. That's all right. I noticed later. Anyone has any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Then what, Madam? Hare Krishna.
Eternally, Srinivasacharya exists in two places, Prabhuji. Like one is Manimanjari in assisting Srimati Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in other.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in God Leela. Yes. So what is your question?
So like Srinivasacharya is eternally exist in two forms.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it?
Yes. Most of our Acharya, they assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in um, 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 Navadip Vrindavan, and in Golok Vrindavan they assist the divine couple. Yes. Okay. Are there any other question? Well, thank you all very much. I hope we could glorify and speak about Srinivasacharya. We can pray to Srinivasacharya that if he can bestow some mercy upon all of us, so we can grow in our service to Srila Prabhupada and in our devotion, in our absorption in holy name by the mercy of these great saints. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. थैंक यू वेरी मच. धन्यवाद प्रणाम. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
धन्यवाद.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.